Welcome to Midwest Whitetail this week, and welcome to snowy Nebraska. Believe it or not, it's turkey season. We know there's a lot of birds in the area, and hopefully Greg and I can both put one down with our Hoyt.
Look at this giant.
Midwest Whitetail is brought to you by Realtree, Hoyt, Muddy Outdoors, Fuse Accessories, Frigid Forage, Rocket Arrowheads, Scott Archery, Night and Hail Game Calls, Camden Outdoors, and Nikon.
So Jared and I had been looking forward to this trip for a long time, but we weren't really excited about the forecast. When we arrived in Nebraska, we were greeted with snow and cold temperatures, and I wasn't real sure if the birds were going to be fired up or how good the hunting was going to be, but on the first morning, we got our answer right away.
Right away that morning, we had birds within range. We had one younger tom off to our left, probably 20 to 25 yards away, just strutting around with some hens and some jakes. He was just on the border of being within shooting range. And at the same time, we had two bigger toms just outside of our blind, maybe 10 yards away on the right side. We just had to wait, and it was just a matter of time until they walked right in front of the blind. When they finally did walk in front, they just wouldn't stop to give us a good shot opportunity. The rest of the morning, these birds just hung out on the ridges above us, outside of bow range. We did have a pretty cool encounter with a coyote later that morning. Right away on that second morning, the birds flew down on the ridge just across from us. Within minutes, we were absolutely covered up in hens, just everywhere outside of our blind, around our blind, staring in. We could not move for the longest time. We did have a couple close encounters that morning though. One just wouldn't walk into our shooting lane like we wanted him to, and the other one, there's just too much brush, we didn't want to force a shot. Once again, made another adjustment with the blind. This time we moved it to a spot where we know the turkeys like to move through just before they head to the roost for the evening. There's actually a spot where Greg's dad had seen a bunch of toms strutting the previous afternoon.
A couple hours into the hunt, the snow started to fall, the wildlife started to move, we saw a little bit of everything, and it was just one of those evenings that you'll never forget as a hunter.
snow kept falling, and it wasn't long before the turkeys started filing in, just as we had hoped. At this point, these toms are only 20 yards away. However, they're off to our right, and on our right side there's a barbed wire fence that runs along there. We don't have a clear shot at. Now these birds are in our shooting lane, and we're getting ready to take a shot. Greg and I are trying to communicate on which bird we're going to take, and they keep switching positions and won't stop walking.
Which one?
Finally, they do stop, but because of the way I'm facing, I can't get a shot off in that direction. So once again, we have birds within range, but we can't get a shot off. We're starting to get a little frustrated because we know we only have one morning left and 2 tags left in our pockets.
So the next morning we snuck back into the same blind, and it didn't take long for the action to start.
That was awesome right there. That happened fast. We had these birds come up the ridge. You can't see very far, so when they come up, they're right there. You gotta make the shot. I shot a nice tom, and then as soon as that happened, we looked over and there were 6 more toms coming up the ridge to our left. So Jared and I switched places, and unfortunately they didn't come up in the opening. They skirted around us, but man, there's a lot of birds still in the area, so hopefully we can still get a double yet. Jared and I have to leave after the morning hunt, so we've got 1 bird down. Hopefully we can get 2 before the morning's over.
We just went outside to recover Greg's turkey that he shot earlier. Walked a little ways down this trail, and around the corner on the other side of the timber there were a bunch of turkeys. We hurried up, got back in here. They're just around the corner. We're going to see if we can call one of these toms in. Right when I was getting ready to shoot this bird, I had sat up on my knees to make sure that my arrow would clear the bottom of the blind. When I did that, I hit my stabilizer against the side of the blind. The arrow shoots off to the left and just takes a few feathers off the turkey. We got lucky with this bird as he walked out there and stopped at 25 yards and stood there for the longest time. This gave us time to switch places in the blind so I could attempt another shot.
Oh, there you got it. There you got it again.
Man, that was awesome. It's my first turkey ever with a bow. I think he's down just over the hill there. What a morning. That was awesome. Like Greg said earlier, we had to leave after this morning's hunt. Been hunting here in Nebraska for 3 days, and finally this morning we got done doubled up. That's fun. Look at that. First turkey with a bow. Tell you what, bow hunting for turkey it's a blast. It's a completely different ball game than hunting with a gun. This is my first turkey with a bow. It's the first time I've even tried. Got this one down, and we're not done yet. We think we got one more lane over here. Let's go see if we can find Greg.
It's over there, come on. Huh, look at that. Look at the head on that thing. It looks like the one that we saw last night that you almost got a shot at. Interesting. What a way to finish up our hunt here in Nebraska. This is a farm that I've been hunting for, boy, probably 15 years now, and I've had a lot of great hunts here over the years. We've had a phenomenal hunt, got to see a lot of cool things, had more close opportunities than I've ever had in a few days of hunting. And then we were finally able to double up on the last morning. We've got to literally pack up and head back to Iowa here soon to get back to work, but what a way to finish it off.
One of the things I learned on this hunt is that cold weather didn't shut the turkeys down like I thought it would. They were gobbling on the roost late into the morning, they were strutting a lot, and really it made it more of a unique experience. It was a fun hunt, especially that evening in the snow, and then to be able to double up on the last day and be able to help Jared get his first bird made this probably one of the best turkey hunts I've ever had.
So Greg and I understood this wasn't your typical time of year to be calling turkeys in. All these toms had plenty of hens with them, especially in the early morning. But what we noticed is, once these hens started moving away down to the crop fields, some toms would go with them, but there was always a few of them that stayed back. We learned that this was the best time to call. Those last few toms weren't afraid to come looking for those last few hens that may have come down from the roost late. So keep that in mind if you ever have the chance to hunt turkeys early in the season when they're still grouped up like that.
So now it's early April, feels good to have a bird on the ground already. We've got about 2 weeks before the Iowa season opens, and we can't wait to get back after them.
Now let's check in with Ryan and Amy Fisher as they take us through their shed season in Wisconsin.
Well, Amy and I are here back in Wisconsin starting another season, not a season of hunting, but a season of finding sheds. It's been a long winter. We're happy to get out there. There's still snow on the ground. I found a total of maybe a half dozen sheds so far, and we're already into March, and there's still some snow cover. So this weekend, we're heading to one of my farms I haven't been onto yet, hoping to find some giant sheds.
Well, as you can see, there's still a lot of snow on the ground. So tip of the day today, we're going to start on the southern facing slopes and hopefully get some sheds today. Well, I found the first shed of this farm. Hopefully we can get a lot more than this.
We've been walking for a few hours here. There's just a tad too much snow. Kicked about 25 deer off this field. A bunch of tracks come down in this creek here. Looked over here and we got our second shed of the day. Back out looking for sheds. We're still in Wisconsin and it's warmed up. We're in the early March here. And we're on a farm, we're looking for some giants. So got a few buddies of mine. We're out combing these fields for some giant bucks. Easily the biggest shed of the season so far for me. I got a buddy of mine. We're out walking one of the farms that we play on, and what a giant 8-pointer. Huge mass, huge beams, probably 24, 25-inch beam. What an awesome shed. Well, the excitement continues today. We just picked up this monster 4-point, which we don't know is. We came in here looking for a couple particular bucks. and we just found the other side, not the other side of this one, but the other side of the buck that we came in here looking for. There he is, Mr. Forky. What an awesome critter. This thing was actually a buck that we were looking at this last year and had a lot of pictures of. He's a stud. As you can see, same side as this one, same genetics for sure. What a find. 3 sheds today, 2 giants here in Wisconsin.
Well, it's a beautiful day in March, and me and Ryan are headed out to a new spot. Still a bunch of snow on the ground, but we're going to hopefully find some more shed antlers today. Well, believe it or not, I found a shed. Yes, I have to try to prove it to my husband, so come let's take a look at it.
That's a nice one.
Look a little bigger one, but that's okay. The shed's a shed.
Slamming 8-pointer. This may be the buck that I called Tex last year that I picked up mid through November there, I'm not sure. Brow tine looks a little bit bigger, but what a slammer, huh? Perfect condition.
Well, one more scavenger hunt for those sheds. Hopefully we can find something today.
Well, it's kind of our last day of out shed hunting that we really have planned for the weekend, and it's nearly April, and what a way to end the season. Another nice dead buck. You hate to see him find him this way, but I just kind of analyze the body here. Not all the parts are here, but usually I look over the deer, and there's some legs over there, and the rib cage is here. And just trying to get as much information about the deer as possible. If it was a gun kill or a bow kill, or maybe it's a winter kill. I'm not sure, but also I try to look at the deer's age and what I can learn about him. And by looking at this rack, a big misconception, I'd say this is, a 3.5-year-old buck. It's got decent mass on it, but then I found its jawbone here. I'm not a deer biologist by any means, but by looking at the teeth of this deer, my thought has changed drastically. If you look at the molars here on the 4th one in and the 5th one in, there's some extreme wear. There's maybe, a 1/4 inch or less of teeth on right here, and some extreme wear, which if you look at the age chart, probably makes you wonder that this deer's probably 4, maybe even 5 years old. And it's even got some wear in his front incisors here. So, looking at the deer, the antler, 3.5 maybe. Looking at the teeth, he's probably 4 or 5-year-old and maybe older. So.
Shed season has come and almost is gone.
Lots of deep snow and lots of snow cover prevented us from walking a lot of our properties that we wanted to cover this year. We just didn't find the amount of shed that we normally do. We still end up with a good amount, a few nice bucks that we found dead we hate to see, but we're switching gears. A few days it's going to be April. The turkeys are starting to gobble, and we got a bunch of tags in our pockets. So hopefully you enjoyed our shed season that Amy had in Wisconsin here, and come back and join us in a few weeks to see how many birds we can put on the ground with their hoits in hand.
Thanks for checking in with us. Everyone have a good week, and we'll see you right here next Monday for the next episode of MW Off Season.